What's going on, family? It's your boy General Africa. I know I haven't posted in a little bit. Got some things going on personally, but I'm gonna touch on this whole Chicago thing, and I intentionally kind of stayed away from it because I'm employing this tactic that uh, most of white America uses, and that is silence. Now that doesn't mean that I support or condone what was done to I believe they're saying the gentleman was is mentally challenged, disabled, something like that. That doesn't mean that I support that or condone that. It's the exact opposite. But at the same time, people have to realize that when you have all these things taking place in the black community, um, disabled black kids having hangers kicked up their rectum, and basically the perpetrator of the act getting off with a slap on the wrist, and the media doesn't cover it. When you have black people being gunned down every day and the media doesn't cover it. When you have white people killing police officers frequently and the media doesn't cover it. Why should I make a big deal about this? Now, it goes without saying that the people who did this it was a horrible act, you know, horrible act. But because they're black, am I supposed to have some type of connection to this? Am I supposed to feel bad because I'm black also? No, white people don't feel bad when fellow cave demons do atrocious acts against other groups of people, especially black people. So why should I feel bad? Am I supposed to feel bad because I'm from Chicago? No. I suggest that we talk about this amongst ourselves, but I'm not giving much media attention to this because, or not media attention, but I'm not going to give this. Probably going to be my only video on this topic, because when so many things happen to my people, the media doesn't cover it. Now all of a sudden this is a hate crime. Well, if they did it because the guy is disabled and they hate disabled people, they wanted to teach him a lesson, all right, then that is a hate crime because that's a specific group of people. But it's funny how this is being charged as a hate crime, and I'm not defending their actions whatsoever, but this is being charged as a hate crime when, if you look at so many instances across the United States that affect black people, it's like pulling the investigators' teeth to get a hate crime charges in those instances, in those cases. It's like pulling their teeth, and most of the time the hate crime charges don't even stick, and if they do, it's not like the perpetrators are getting that much jail time for it. And that's another thing. When black people commit acts, we go to jail, we go to prison. For the most part, when white people commit acts of violence, especially against a black person, that's not the case. So like I said, earlier, I don't condone what they did. I don't, it was wrong. And justice should be served. Now, should this be something that affects them for the rest of their lives? No, but they need to be taught a lesson in the justice system. But I'm not going to get all up in arms and joining hands with the white supremacists who are comparing this to the Dylan Roof Charleston shooting. I'm not going to get on board with Tommy Lauren, and I'm not saying black people who criticize these people, these 4 black teenagers, I'm not saying they're doing that, but I'm putting it out like this. I'm not saying much about it at all, besides the obvious, which is that this was a horrible act, and something needs to be done. But I don't feel bad because I'm a black person, because white people don't feel bad when you know, their fellow people do things. I don't feel bad because I'm from Chicago, because just because I'm from Chicago doesn't mean that, you know, this crime had anything to do with me. It's crazy how something like this can get this much attention, and it was wrong. It was wrong, but you have black people getting murdered every day in the United States, and they can't get as much media attention as Cecil the Lion or Harambe the gorilla. So I mean, I had a conversation with my brother, like, well, you know, what do white people do when things like when their fellow people, whatever, commit acts of violence against others, commit atrocities? Do they walk around with their heads down, feeling bad because, you know, another white person did something horrible? No, they go about the rest of their day, and that's what I'm doing. Now, I don't know all the facts of the case, you know, so I'm not going to come on here and say they should get this amount of years or that amount of years, but they should, you know, there should be a punishment for this. You know, those are my thoughts for now. You know, this might not be my only video, but we'll see. General Africa, I'm out.